The little goat stood strong. Its eyes were bright and clear. Alistair looked at Rebecca. His face showed great surprise and wonder. He had never seen such a miracle. Rebecca felt happy, but also a little afraid. She held a great power in her hands. Inside the cozy cottage, Alistair sat with Rebecca. He asked her many questions. "Tell me about this flower," he said. "Where did you find it?" Rebecca described the whispering woods. She spoke of the hidden clearing and the flower's soft, glowing light. Alistair listened carefully. News of the miracle spread quickly. It went from person to person in the nearby village. Soon, a man named John arrived at Rebecca's cottage. He knocked on the door. His face showed great hope. He had heard about the healing. He hoped Rebecca could help his sick neighbor. More people came to the cottage. A small crowd gathered outside. A worried mother named Mary stood at the front. She held her young son Thomas in her arms. Thomas was very pale and weak. Mary looked at Rebecca with pleading eyes. "Please, Rebecca," she begged, "can you help my son?" Rebecca looked down at her woven basket. It was empty. She had used the last flower for the goat. A wave of sadness came over her. She felt helpless. She could not give Mary the special flower. She could not help Thomas right now. Alistair stepped forward. He spoke to the villagers with a calm voice. "The healing flower is very rare," he explained. "Rebecca needs time to find more." He asked them to go home. "Please be patient," he said. Mary looked disappointed, but she nodded slowly. That evening, Rebecca sat by the warm fire. Mary and Thomas stayed in the cottage. Rebecca watched Mary's worried face. She thought about Thomas's pale, small hand. She felt a strong need to help. She knew she could not wait. She made a firm decision in her heart. Rebecca turned to Alistair. Her voice was clear and strong. "I must return to the woods," she said. "I will go back to the whispering woods. I will find another glowing flower for Thomas." Alistair looked at her. He saw her brave spirit and listened carefully. Alistair felt worried for Rebecca. The woods could be dangerous, but he saw her kind heart and strong will. He knew she had to go. He put a hand on her shoulder. "I will help you prepare," he said. He showed his full support for her journey. They began to search Alistair's oldest books, dusty, heavy books filled with old knowledge. They hoped to find some information. They looked for drawings or words about the glowing flower. They wanted to learn its secrets. This knowledge would help Rebecca on her journey. Alistair went to his big bookshelf. He found an old, thick book. He opened it carefully. Inside, there was a drawing of the glowing flower. Alistair read the words aloud. "This flower takes energy from the forest to grow," he said. "We must be very careful with its power." Rebecca listened with serious eyes. Rebecca sat alone in her cottage. She thought about Alistair's words. She understood the new danger. The flower was powerful, but it needed the forest's life. She knew she could not take many flowers. She took her woven basket. She packed it with care. Rebecca felt the weight of her choice. She had a big responsibility now. Rebecca walked to the whispering woods again. The path was familiar. This time, her steps were different. She walked with purpose and care. She looked at the trees and the plants. She saw the small animals. Rebecca felt like a guardian of the woods. She was no longer just a student. She was careful with every step. Rebecca walked deeper into the woods. She found the hidden clearing again. Her eyes opened wide. She was very surprised. There was not just one glowing flower. There was a small patch of them. Many flowers glowed softly on the ground. A feeling of relief filled her heart. The forest had more to give. Rebecca looked at the beautiful flowers. Then she remembered the warning. Alistair's words came back to her mind. The book said the flower takes energy from the forest. She knew she could not take all of them. The forest needed its energy. It needed the flowers to grow strong. Rebecca made a difficult choice. She would protect the forest. Rebecca chose only one flower. She carefully cut it from the ground. This flower was for the sick child. Then she looked closely at the flower. She saw tiny, bright seeds on its petals. Rebecca gently collected some of these seeds. She put them in a small pouch. These seeds were for the future. She would grow new flowers. Rebecca returned to her small cottage. Mary was waiting with her son, Thomas. Thomas looked pale and tired. Rebecca quickly prepared a special medicine. She used the glowing flower. She gave the medicine to Mary for Thomas. Thomas drank it slowly. Soon, a little color came back to his cheeks. Mary smiled with hope. Mary thanked Rebecca many times. Rebecca looked at Mary. She explained about the flower. "This flower is very rare, Mary," Rebecca said. "I cannot heal everyone now." Mary's face looked sad. "But I have a plan," Rebecca added. "I will grow more flowers for the future." Mary looked at Rebecca with new hope. In the garden behind the cottage, Rebecca and Alistair worked. They prepared a special place. Alistair dug the soft earth. Rebecca held the small pouch of seeds. She carefully planted each tiny, bright seed in the soil. She covered them with a thin layer of earth. Rebecca hoped they would grow. Alistair watched her with a proud smile. The garden felt peaceful. A few days later, Rebecca went to the garden. She saw something amazing. A tiny sprout pushed through the earth. It had a soft, gentle glow. Rebecca's heart filled with joy. Alistair stood beside her, smiling. Rebecca was no longer just a herbalist. She was a guardian of life. Her journey was complete.
Es momento de la trivia. Te haré 2 preguntas sobre la historia que acabas de escuchar. Piensa bien las respuestas y déjalas en los comentarios. Pregunta número 1. ¿Qué importante advertencia sobre la flor brillante descubrió Alistair en el libro antiguo? Tómate tu tiempo para pensar. Pregunta número 2. ¿Qué hizo Rebecca con las pequeñas semillas brillantes que encontró en la flor para asegurar el futuro? Esas son las 2 preguntas de nuestra trivia. No olvides dejar tus respuestas en los comentarios. Me encanta leer lo que piensan sobre las historias.
Si te gustó el video, pon me gusta, suscríbete y activa la campanita para ver más historias.